Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel Sportive Mechanics. It's Nicholas. Today I am presenting the new Renault Captur in its 1 litre turbo control efficiency 90 horsepower version. I have already presented to you exclusively the tech version, and I thought to myself, wait, it would be good to also cover cars that people buy more often, not just the most expensive hybrids. That's why I often decide not to do the top of the range models. And on the channel, as soon as I can, I try to beg the brands for slightly more accessible models, like this one. So, for that, I decided to get you this new Captur 2024 in the Evolution version and the smallest engine. Since 2013, when the Captur was launched, it's been over 10 years now, it has been sold. 2.2 million, it's just huge. It's a commercial success for Renault. It's a bit like the Clio, but in sport utility vehicle. It's the brand's really best-selling sport utility vehicle. It starts from 24,900 euros for the entry-level model, so basically this one, and it comes in several engines. There's quite a lot of choice, by the way. So we have the 1 litre turbo control efficiency 90, this engine that I'm testing for you today in 3 cylinders. It will also exist in 1 litre turbo control efficiency 100 liquefied petroleum gas. Dacia also offers a liquefied petroleum gas, which is very efficient and economical. Unfortunately, liquefied petroleum gas wasn't available in this case. If interested, comment if you want me to also try in liquefied petroleum gas. I know that at Dacia, people are very fervent about liquefied petroleum gas engines because it's more economical, it's more ecological too. It has advantages, especially with 2 tanks, a gasoline tank and a liquefied petroleum gas one. Regrettably, the 1.3 turbo control efficiency 140 and 155 versions will not be available in France. Those are not available due to the penalty in our country, but in other countries they can find them. Then, in 4 cylinders, we will find a 1.3 turbo control efficiency 160 horsepower with a micro-hybridization. That model also sells. It's one of the most powerful in this range, along with the 1.6 version. E-Tech full hybrid, so full hybrid. It's a battery at the back that works very, very well, and that has really quite incredible consumption. If you have the budget and do a lot of city driving, I recommend it. It's also good for driving in the countryside. I must admit that in the city it consumes a bit more, as there's no hybridization. It's just a basic start and stop. On this version, it will come in 3 finishes. The Evolution, which will be the entry level, as I present to you today. Who? Like this? The exterior look seems rather good. Firstly, the Techno, which is a small step above, and then the Alpine Spirit. The camera offers 3 finishes, often, sometimes, and occasionally the unavailable Iconic, which suffice. Several new features are coming, including the Android Automotive's new screen. I won't be making another ET video. I wanted to present it in the studio and test it in a trial. This time, I just wanted to test this engine. We'll briefly go around, but you can find all the videos by searching Captur Mechanics on the channel Sporty. I tried to give you an idea of the price. This one starts at 24,900. An Alpine Spirit, we are surrounded by 34,000 euros, which is still 10,000 euros more expensive. But the Alpine Spirits will only be available on the 160 horses and on the high-techs. It's a car that is 4 meters 24, 1 meter 78 wide, 1 meter 58 high, with a wheelbase of 2 meters 64. We'll see in the back seats. In addition, we have sliding benches. We have a fairly generous trunk. If you've been following along and follow the channel regularly. They released that, but in a sport utility vehicle version, and not necessarily a coupe like this. They released the new Renault Symbioz. The new Renault Symbioz, it's exactly this car, except it has more trunk space. And I admit that I really like this car. I would likely retest with other engines to compare results, possibly this one. Sorry, it's currently only available in E-Tech. I'm waiting for the release of a new engine, which should occur this year. On this car, no more leather, no more chrome. We try to be a little bit eco-friendly as well. For rims, we can choose between 17, 18 or 19 inches. The 19-inch option is new for this car. A hood that stays mostly the same, but from here, everything really transforms. I compare to the old new light signature from Renault that was inaugurated on the Clio. Now it's on Rafale, Symbioz, Captur, and it's going to be the future on all Renaults. Similarly, this part here, which evolves the Renault logo since it is now current. Under this hood, as I was telling you, 1 litre turbo control efficiency 90, 1 litre GPL, 1 litre 3 turbo control efficiency 160, or the 1 litre 6 E-Tech. All versions have 100% LED lights. This one here is the entry-level model. To tell you everything, it is in flame red like this. Between an Alpine Spirit version and this one from the outside, without the Alpine Spirit badge and without the legend. The paint is still well done. Everywhere we have the same plastics as on the versions, this one or the others. On the Alpine Spirit we have a small specific part left to finish, but it is already mostly complete. The car will see minimal changes, except for the addition of new 19-inch rims. Today we have 17 inches, which allows for tires with large sides, which helps to cushion even better and make this car even more comfortable. 2 fridge tips on this side catch the gas. Simple. As seen from the unlacquered two-tone plastics, it's resistant to damage and micro scratches. The simplicity on this Evolution version. As with all first-generation models, in the Alpine Spirit there are plastic wheel arches and a small plastic part where the Alpine badge would be. To make the 3/4 rear look nice, and because it's always nice, a 3/4 rear Evolution on the rear is just that. Everything else you keep the same and you just change the plastic shell optical block. And the interior there, it's actually gone a little bit to crystal, but not shiny black crystal on the inside. The restyling brings a modern touch to this car, just like they did with the Clio. This small change completely transforms the vehicle. And I don't know if we could mount them on the old Captures, but in reality it would already change quite a few things. And also this new Renault logo. Here, full rear, we find the Captur, which is noted in chrome. And that's becoming increasingly rare. The wipers, third brake light, stop. The shark type antenna, still even on this quite accessible version. And the whole bottom in plastic with just a small black rod in lacquer. And the trunk there, what's good about this trunk is that we still have everything, quite a lot of space. So I left my motorcycle gear, my gloves, etc. because I went to pick it up by motorcycle. This morning, you'll see, I'm leaving Paris again later in the video. Trunk. In terms of the trunk, since it's not the hybrid version, it's the one that offers the most trunk volume. In a hybrid, a 1.2 kilowatt-hour battery is positioned under the floor, slightly encroaching on the volume. This gasoline version has a 484-litre capacity when the seats are pushed back to the maximum configuration. Moving the seats forward increases the capacity to 162.7 gallons, which is quite impressive. On a car, the bench and the slide on 16 centimeters, so it allows to gain 16 centimeters from bottom to top. And we also have the floor on 2 levels, which you can see the hand sinks in anyway. Already not bad here, so it allows to gain even more space. Here we have the loading threshold at the floor level, and it's quite spacious. I move a little bit, all this, I know you, if I do it every time. Comments. Nico didn't vote to get in the trunk, he didn't show us. And since it's called Capture, I want to see if we can capture people, so with a helmet and all, even like that it works. And actually right now I still have a lot of volume left. Just below Twisting Beaches here, outside, part very simply in plastic. And it's a manual trunk, no jacks or no electricity to lift it. At the back of this car, as an Evolution it will be simpler. We have a door all in plastic except for a small armrest here, which if we just take a quick look, we get the impression that it would be in plastic. Because it has a slightly coloured texture, like a paint. A bit metallic, but matte. It's soft, a little bit of foam inside then, when I go into small plastic parts. And then a fairly simple series in fabric on this Evolution version, the Paris seats at the front, entirely in fabric. When I come back to close the door, then open it, the window, does it open entirely? No, it doesn't open entirely, unfortunately. So, for the small arm, it will make the mark right here. Then inside, what I like is this ceiling light here, one. It has a nice, pleasant texture. We have our lighting there. I don't know why it's not working. She switched to 12-volt battery saving mode because she's been running with the lights on for a while now. I have enough headroom. I am 5 feet 11 inches tall. Even when I stand as straight as possible, my hair slightly touches the top. But in normal relaxed mode, I have room for my knees, I have elbow room, I have headroom, right? So I have this part here that immediately comes to my head level when I turn around. So if I move forward a bit, I have to move my head a little bit to be able to look out the window. Otherwise, if I really look to the side, I have this amount right here, the seats, very, very simple, as this is the Evolution version. The back pockets on these pants aren't very useful, in my opinion, as they're quite small. There you go, we still have the sliding bench, so that's on all models. So, always the same thing, as I say here, it's either put right in the middle. If I approach too quickly, I'll hit my hand here. I say this every time, because I want Renault to take action. I know Renault watches my videos, so hello to my friends at Renault and the designers. We have the 12-volt socket here, and the vents in the center, so we can just adjust the airflow. The upholstery is pretty good. It holds very, very well on the side. It also holds super well at the seat level. So, not necessarily need for leather in life. I think that this sometimes is better, and even depending on the texture, sometimes it grips super well. In fact, it makes us well supported and comfortable. Moving forward, we feel the slightly bulging side with the top tether and ISOFIX attachments, particularly the ISOFIX. But what's good is that they didn't make it too hard. The middle space isn't too bad, so we have the seatbelt right here, which can be detached. But what's a shame is that here they've put a little plastic thing that actually prevents it from going any further. There's nothing to secure it up there. So in fact, it's either always hanging like this, or you have to hook it up and then come do this. Well, why not? Otherwise, I would have fixed it from the start. The middle seat. So we have a little central tunnel here, but it's okay. And when I come to sit here, it's firmer, however, on this central seat. But the backrest, however, is quite soft though. I have room for my feet, but I will just have to lift my toes a bit if I want to get my feet through. Because otherwise, there are the rails, otherwise I spread out a little bit, and the same. I have room at the knee and head level, just the small Tintin tuft that touches the ceiling. It's a tight fit. My headrest, but it's not uncomfortable. However, here, much less support because it's very flat. And then it's a little bit in the shape of a supermotored Salt. So here I move around a little bit more, even though there is still quite a bit of foam. It's half firm, half soft, but I sink in a little bit. So anyway, a little bit of support at the seat level, less at the back for the rear. Otherwise, it's pretty simple, basic, but it does the job well. Let's go for a little tour around the car with Nico to show it to you like this, but I like to do this for you each time. Now, I know that many of you are telling me that you like it. Also because it allows us to realize a little bit more. In reality, the design shapes according to the angles. When it moves rather than fixed shot by fixed shot, it's true that this capture is nice. What I love about Renault is this red color. Then flame the key, as if in Evolution version we have a key again, so it folds. I admit it's been a long time since I've seen a real key like this. And turning the ignition, I admit that it's been a very, very long time. The Renault logo here, and open, close, and the opening just for the trunk. If we want eye unlock, we don't have the thing here, and then there's something I like. It's when I come in. Normally there is a mission at AG. Left it on too long. Otherwise, we have a nice animation. I think about it. I didn't think to tell you at the back. It's drums here and discs down there. Since it's a fairly light car, in fact, it's one of the lightest. Since precisely engine version, 1 litre, 90 horses. Is it going to work? I didn't wait long enough, possibly because I left them too much. Otherwise, we have a nice animation and everything is done. So I get into this Renault. I'm going to start it because I want to leave. Tonight? Because it's almost 1940 there. It would be a shame to stay locked in the woods. Right here. The steering wheel, I move back here as far as possible. Hop, this is what it looks like. So the Renault steering wheel is quite basic. The logo is here, with the driving wings and speed limiter on one side and scrollable information on the other. The menus as well, and the screens that we can have with different themes. As you can see with the counters, in this way we don't have any outline. That's the thing that disturbs me a bit. We can also have the map with integrated maps, since now we have a full digital screen each time. And there you have it. I find it quite good. The door on the hard plastic side as well, everywhere, with the same little corridor here, which is like at the back. It's a little bit foamy, so it's frankly a quite pleasant texture. On this side, the window controls and mirror adjustments. The handle to open the modes here with the eco mode, which I don't recommend because 90 horsepower is already too eco. And the modes that I can save, the My Safety Pro or My Safety Personal, the height of the light settings, and disable the startup. Then a vent here, a vent on the left, one on the right, and this part here, which is specific on the other models, where we can have a simple color gradient there, and that's it, basic version. It's foamed all over the top though. Here are the windshield wipers and the headlight flashes, so just flashing headlight here, windshield wiper. On the other side, we still have an auto mode, and even what you need to know is that we have an auto mode for the headlights. We even have the automatic full beam mode. I find it really cool that the music, sources, modes and volume are always practical. I know a lot of people at Renault like it. The steering wheel is adjustable in height and depth. New screen here with Android Automotive. so I won't go over the menus again. But basically, the applications here, the car settings here, the home here. We have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay wirelessly, also native on this car. The air conditioning right here, I can put it back on. Here, we can see 21 degrees Celsius here, monozone, because it's entry level. Turn off here, we have the auto air conditioning warning right here, and the car lock. Then, we have a compartment here to store your phone, so it's even very well hidden. I admit that every time I come in this car, I forget it here. And 2 USB-C ports, plus a cigarette lighter socket. So we have 2 cigarette lighter sockets in this car, and the induction charger here also, that we're going to have manual gearbox on this car. Since it's the TSE, the score is 90 with a fairly large range. It's rather flexible, well handled. I like the texture here. We have it well in hand, quite simple and effective. We have a part that could be a floating console, but it's not possible because a real gearbox goes through here. This is where we usually store our card, but since we have a key on the contact, we don't store it here. Double cup holder. And as you can see on this version, we still have the good old handbrake here for families. Then we find the glove box. That's always great at Renault. Kudos for making such spacious glove boxes. The thing to remove is really deep, can fit large bottles up to 1.59 quarts, which is a big plus. Just like in the doors too. The seats, I didn't show you them. So this headrest, now that we know well at Renault, I think it arrived on the Zoe, this headrest, if I'm not mistaken. And then this fabric part, this part here on the side, which catches a little bit more. We can see that we still have quite nice finishes, blue, white overprints, this kind of textile a little bit, jean. They are not bad for having spent some time on board. It's pretty good. And the same also for the ceiling light I was telling you about. Here we have the lighting here, with bulbs still on each side and the Save Our Souls button on top. A simple mirror, evolution version, so we still switch between day and night mode by ourselves. Up there we find a mirror without lighting, but still with a ticket holder, and on this side the microphone for Bluetooth. I hope you got all the info. Now it's time to go try it out. Let's hit the road. So here I am in this new Captur, ready to go. I'm leaving from Boulogne. I'm going to go to Fontainebleau, back on a small road, National Highway Departmental. As usual, I just reset all my counters to 0. Manual transmission, 90 horsepower. We tried the E-Tech version as a preview as soon as it was possible. For those who saw it there, I just put my Safety Pro back on to remove the beeps, etc. We start in the city. With its comfort-oriented suspension, the Captur is truly an everyday car. The manual gearbox is well positioned, quite high up. It works well with my armrest over speed bumps. It's honestly comfortable. We have the start and stop feature. I just started the car, so it won't cut off immediately. Air conditioning, heating, etc. We'll see what it gives next. We have the steering wheel that is adjustable and height, depth, all that. The steering wheel, which is quite soft. We are comfortable in this car. I immediately feel that the seats hold a good position. It's quite flexible, even at the level of the 6th. Here, I like that the lever is positioned quite high. It allows me not to look for them too low. And with this armrest, I think it's well placed. Off for an hour towards Fontainebleau. We'll see what it gives. So we're going to do roughly an hour and a half of driving. I can't wait to see what it gives in terms of consumption, because after trying the E-Tech, which itself is frankly top, even in terms of console, no matter the car we try. On Renault Captur Symbiose that I haven't tried, well, that I've tried again, but that you haven't seen yet, it will come out later as we're not allowed to discuss it. It's the 20th of August, normally, if I'm not mistaken, that it comes out. His text, it's great, but I also wanted to try this version, which can be more entry level. We don't necessarily have the Alpine Spirit, and it's something you buy a little more. Come on, it should go through here, we hope. The clutch is rather soft. The car is discreet. When we are idling like this, at a stop, the car makes very, very little noise. It's comfortable. It slides well at the gear selector level. They already have loans and disabled the gear. Otherwise, while I'm setting up at Maxi Small Pro myself, so for the city I find it's a car that's quite pleasant. I do. Hold on an extra little bit and not just go directly to the highway to see what it gives. Even very low in the revs. So even there, like that, I don't have any contours with this 30 display, since everything goes to 30 now. Even on the cobblestones, it filters well. You can feel that it's a bit soft like that. Excited to see how it looks, including the dynamics. The low speed, frankly, the engine is very, very discreet. I like that. So it's not a hybrid at all. In any case, it doesn't make any noise. Can I turn there? No, I can't turn there. Every time I make little detours like this to give you a little more life, there's always a truck, something blocking the road. However, I was stopped for half an hour.
I don't know if you remember my video.
I took a wrong turn and got stuck for half an hour as the Tour de France was passing by. A large truck now appears to be blocking the way partially. All quite pleasant. You can feel that we have a fairly flexible car and engine, where there isn't necessarily a lot of power, but low in the revs when we're not in a hurry. Very pleasant, a lot of charm and a lot of flaws. In Paris. Here in the Paris region, I admit I envy you a bit in the countryside. You have far less commotion and it's much better. It's really everywhere. So that's why it's also important here to have a car with rather comfortable suspension. It's not too wide. That's it. The advantage also of this Captur is that it fits quite well everywhere. A good turning radius for everyday use. The car performs exceptionally well under the given conditions, despite its large speed bumps. It's pretty good. It finally starts to roll a little bit. We're leaving the city. "90 horses. It's still pretty soft though for someone who really drives in a cool and relaxed way. It will do the job just fine. It filters out the anomalies well, but a direction that is quite pleasant, it's quite direct, that I like. There's a feeling of lightness actually on the car, so there, it holds me. I'm going to stay in 5th, it's okay there. Here, it's 70. I don't have an outline there on my display, so I might have liked it in 5th, close. Mans, it's okay, and it's this feeling in the direction that I like. It's frankly direct, without it being rather precise. Being a small non-hybrid engine makes it even lighter due to the absence of an extra battery and engine. So here, we really have the lightest Captur of all the finishes. And even in 5th, does it accelerate a little bit uphill? It's called a little bit in 5th, but at least it doesn't slow down. It's here, it's 90 here. I put my foot in it in 5th. I stay in 5th, precisely uphill, to try to see if it picks up. So it goes gently, it's very soft, it's really very cool. I only get to 80. We can drop a gear, I drop a gear, indeed a little bit better see 1 or even 2 gears when we go back up. Advice to shift the gear to consume as little as possible. And I reach 90 then. We have our regulator if we wish. Regulator, or at 6 at 90 there, I let it drive me. We don't have all the driving aids, because precisely in manual mode, it's more complicated to put everything. With adaptive cruise control, lane centering, etc. But already, just the fact of having the cruise control, I find that good, a cruise control, or limiters. I'm more of a fan of the cruise control. It really allows me to let go of the pedals, and it's rather comfortable. Another good thing is that today, it's raining, the road is soaked, I got soaked, I still have my pants wet. Did I come to pick up this car on a motorcycle? The rolling noises are very well contained, and even the noise of water rising in the wheel arches is very well contained. And even here, I'm driving along a wall, and frankly, it's pretty well soundproofed inside the car. I'm going to put that on automatic. Even the surrounding noises is frankly pretty good. The engine is very quiet at 90. So I feel a little bit of the vibrations, and I feel that there is an engine running. honestly, it's not bad at all. So what does it give? In terms of city consumption, I was between 9 and 10 litres, really pure city, when I left before getting on the highway at 110. And there was a little bit of luck from the 70s, 80s, 70s, 90s. I was at around 6 litres. It took me a few kilometres, about 10, to get used to it. That I am at 110, I went down to 5 litres too. I see that when I am on the regulator in stabilise at 110 on almost flat, I'm around 5 litres, or even a little less, which remains rather comfortable. So now, for example, I set my regulator to 100 kilometers per hour. We will soon arrive at 130, so I still don't know what regime I'm on. That always disturbs me a little, because I admit I like to know anyway. The wind sounds are mostly contained, but it's still noticeable. I can see the trees bending significantly in the wind all around. On the American Car City side, I should go see them again. A little bit of American Car too. At 110, it's pretty good. The engine is very discreet. It's not bad. And 5.3 average there. For the moment, it's quite interesting. I'm in 6th gear. It makes you want to go for a walk, and the consumptions remain quite reasonable. Alright, now we're going to hit 130, so I'm going up to 610. The car picks up, so I'm in 6th gear. I let it pick up by itself to go up to 130. Now we're getting on the highway. Hop to the right, so here I just have a simple cruise control, no adaptive or anything else. 130 kilometers per hour. I'm starting to hear some wind noise. Still, in terms of the mirrors, at the level of the windshield, it remains relatively well contained at 130 kilometers strong. And honestly, a Renault, it's really a good car that passes on the side. It remains rather discreet. The engine is very discreet. And yet I'm on a slight incline. Even on a slight incline, yet I feel a slight vibration of a running thermal engine. Honestly, I wouldn't have thought that at 130 kilometers per hour, this engine would be so well soundproofed. So I continue then, it averages, finally instantaneous, at 130, so it goes up in 2. It goes between 5 and 7, and focuses around 6. It shows that at 7, a little bit. It comes back around 5, depending on the wind, depending on the road. We should see, but for me it's not unreasonable. The purchase goes back to an average of 5.4. We will continue this journey and I will make the return trip by driving God at 90. Act as if you were only small national departmental roads. Currently the consumption is at 5.5, rising slightly. It's not excessive. So, if you prefer the information and communications technology, if you do a lot of cities, really wanted to save, in the city of high-tech will be unbeatable, the pair and his car, cheaper. But to see on the city fuel economy report, I think that it can be interesting for people who do the national departmental. It's still pretty good though. A console level, so really have, depending on your use, but that can be more than enough. The car's profitability comes from its automatic gearbox and driving aids. And so it's to see if the rent can be worth it, not we'll see what it gives. Also dynamically, the spades on small roads that I like, but frankly I would go on vacation with one. It indicated 800 kilometers of autonomy when I left. Well, that is going to increase my average to 5.7. And given the consumption there, having done a few kilometers while closely monitoring the instantaneous consumption, I think we'll be between 6.5 and 7 litres per 100 kilometers on the highway, being alone in the car under these conditions. So I'm arriving on some small country roads here. The advantage of a small engine is its low consumption, but the disadvantage is that it lacks significant engine braking capabilities. Relaunch here quietly and here very, very degraded, so we will also see what it gives. In terms of conformity, it's there. In the anomalies, the holes. It's a nice car, it's a good car. From the daily 5.1, I reduced my average slightly, going back to 5.4. The information there is very contradictory. It's really not bad. Really big hole on this road is very pleasant. What is it that still impresses me? It's really the discretion of this engine. On the supports it's done very lightly, but the responsiveness of this steering wheel is quite impressive. What is moving like that? Behind the seatbelt is unfastened. I am there, fixed after package, to walk around like that. The steering wheel's responsiveness is impressive, reminding me of the responsive high-tech. I'm trying so many cars right now. You can also feel, even when braking, it's a light car, there, the big hole here, you can feel that it cushions well. It's really comfort oriented, but at the same time it's still quite dynamic. What surprises me about this car is that it seems to do both well. I'll take you on some small dynamic roads. Let's hope it's dry, as it doesn't appear to have rained here recently. Since this morning I've been getting drenched, hoping that the base is still dry to see what happens if we mistreat it a little bit. And off we go for the very famous 0 to 100 test. A road where there is absolutely no one in the middle who is on the brake. We shift into first gear and then you will have to play with the clutch and you are ready for the ego. Show a little in regime, it disturbs me. I don't know the account where there is no counter, and it's better very kindly. 40, 50, 65, 70, 80, 90, and without a bottom of 3. It's a fairly flexible engine. As you can see, its goal is not to be sporty, but it is not to consume too much. That's why it makes 90 horses. Well, the famous point test then in the seats, a little bit maintained. It's not too bad. I just need to get comfortable with my footrest here to really be well. In the roundabout the car leans a little bit, but I don't think it's ridiculous. So there are places where it's a bit serious. And it holds the road really well, so I'm quite impressed. It opens very, very slightly, but honestly we have a good direction, it's quite precise. It leans slightly, you can feel that it's light, it's rather not bad. A little bit of support anyway, which makes it tilt a bit. The seats hold up quite decently. It's not a sports car, but actually just for a little bit of dynamism, it will be more than enough. Just not good to lean here on the central console. He finds here where it's going to get more dynamic. So my report says, who said? Engine. So little engine braking, we're going to do it in 3. There's a little bit of acceleration. I know this road very well, it's very beautiful sleighs, and it bounces a lot. Suspension filters very well. The car stays rather flat. It's a bit greasy because it has slightly rained here. And honestly, it holds up super well under cornering. Very light, very discreet. Yeah, honestly, it's not bad. It's honestly not bad at all. Even the steering is pleasant, and as I was saying, in fact, it's very precise. On a hard brake, you can feel the lightness of the vehicle, slightly leaning, very slight understeer. But it handles well. I didn't expect it to be this good, and it honestly holds the road quite well, even though it's a little bit greasy. The accelerations, as I was saying, at the engine level, it's not made to be dynamic, but the chassis is really not bad. It impressed me quite a bit. Here it's understeering, we add a little bit of France, it takes the rear cleanly, we feel that it can be nice. It's a shame they make more than 2 versions, a little bit of all the cars. A bit sporty, would you have imagined a little Captur RS? The rear, very slightly, it's a chassis that is quite well balanced. On the brakes, it goes very, very well. It's enjoyable, right? All this in comfort at the same time, without it making too much noise, without hearing the engine too much, the rear slightly taking over on the brakes. Who drives like this regularly? Few people, unless they're in a rush on mountain roads one day. But apart from that, nobody does that. So we're going to reset here to the regulator and drive like a good family man. It's It's a very good car. It's very, very good. It's quiet, pleasant, comfortable, good road holding, consoles that are pretty much mastered. 5.8. There, for a car that is not at all hybrid or no micro hybridization, whatever that is, it's not bad. I'm going to do the whole return now, 70, 90, and see what it gives. And give you a little debrief of this car for our friends in the countryside, a little bit of the way. I like to do everything as usual on a comfortable suspension, on the roads, a bit degraded or other, even on the paths it's very good. It also remains super comfortable, working suspension. Honestly, so this new Captur in turbo control efficiency 90 version, what do we think about it then? For a completely normal use, urban or suburban, or even in the countryside, it does the job well if we're not in the mountains, because I find maybe still, it lacks just a little bit of punch. 90 horses, it's a bit just the eco mode. It's almost even insulting to have put it, because 90 horses in eco, it really does too much. And I find after consumption level, it's the same. Once we've tasted the new engines and tech, we wonder why take that one. It's a matter of cost, as it is clearly the most affordable option. In this Evolution finish, it's truly the entry level. So indeed, in terms of budget, it can be interesting, but when you're in town, it still consumes quite a bit. I ended up with a mix on my full test at 6 litres on average. Driving through the city, mixing in highway, national and departmental roads, a little bit more, how to say, dynamic, as we saw, but really it was a small part though. In fact, when we tasted the Hitec and its consumptions around 4 litres, we say that the Hitec, it does the job super well. And it works well in all conditions, even in town, even out of town, in urban areas, even on the highway. They are making a real effort. Here we only have a small 1 litre engine with 90 horsepower, so why not? It remains a car that is globally good, but you should know that, in terms of consumption, the new hybrid cars are doing better and better. So maybe in the long term, depending on what kind of car you use, are you often in the city or not? But it's true that there's a difference of nearly 10,000 euros between a fully loaded top-of-the-range version, but you don't have to choose the top-end full tech trim. Do your calculation. If you do a lot of city driving, it might be interesting to divide by 2. Almost, it's fuel consumption, so it's up to you to choose. After using it, I found that this engine was super quiet. We have a generous cabin, we have all the aids we need, and CarPlay, etc.
In the end, it's a good overall small sport utility vehicle for an affordable price.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and tell me which car to try next.
Interested in entry-level models like this? Let me know in the comments. See you soon, ciao.